Hey, welcome back into today's video. We're going to be responding to a creator named Redski who made a couple of videos that were critical of me. Normally I do not respond to these types of videos, but there were some things that he said in his video that I feel like I need to correct, some things that are just not right, things. So this creator made a video, Repzilla hasn't changed, about 6 months ago, August 25th, 2021. Now remember that date because I'm going to bring it back up in just a minute.
One of the worst things, at least in my mind, that Repzilla has done was when he accused a former fan of being a stalker. An Australian creator called Marcy went in depth into this situation and even interviewed the girl herself.
So I've been talking about this stalking situation since the very beginning in 2018 within detail. Even in this screenshot he shows the video where I talk about it, so I know that he knew it was there. I even have a Twitter thread on March 19th, 2019 that talks about all this stuff. In one part, I said, at the beginning of last year, I was involved in a serious stalking case that started online. Many of you might remember, it got real when they started sending me pictures of me live streaming outside of my house. Then they started calling my girlfriend and my family. I didn't know what to do. I called the cops and made a report, and it got worse and worse. I started fearing leaving the house, and I didn't want anything to happen to my cat, Greg. Rest in peace. I had to stop putting my girlfriend in my live streams because she had kids and she was worried about them. And I even linked that video in this Twitter thread. So my side of the information was always there. It wasn't something that I just came out with recently in my opening up video, but in my opening up video, I was forced to come out and show like evidence that I lived in Georgia, things that I really feel like I shouldn't have had to explain, but it seemed in this situation, not only did Redski choose not to believe that I was stalked, but didn't include any of this in his video. He didn't share my side. And he actually decided to take Marcy at face value over me. I think that if you have access to the information of both sides, then you should share those both sides. You shouldn't just skip over my part because you don't like me or you want to make an interesting video, because what you did there, you took the stuff that happened to me and you turned it around onto me and said that I did that to them. And then I came out, I gave all the evidence, and then Marcy actually took down his interview. And your video parts are still up with Marcy's interview in there that he no longer stands by when he found out that the girl was lying. You know that the girl is lying, but yet this still remains up. And I'm not the type of person that's gonna ask somebody to take their video down. It should be just common sense and something that somebody with integrity would just know of. So the problem with this is that the video is still in the algorithm, is still getting views. People, a lot of times they don't even watch videos, they just listen to them. So they don't see pinned comments, they don't see even a second video where you admit that the stalker was lying and that you apologize for putting out incorrect information. They don't see that, which we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But your pinned comment says, my stance in this video was made based on what was publicly available at the time. Due to more information being released, my stance has since changed. I will be releasing follow-up video addressing my current stance on what has been discussed. My issue with this is that you didn't make a video based on what was publicly available at the time, or you would have given my side of the story. You would have added in my Twitter thread. You would have talked about the video that was live at that time, but you chose not to do that. And to his credit, in his second video, he did come out and say that this girl was in fact my stalker and that all of that was a lie. Let's listen to what he said.
I think it's best to start this video off by addressing the obvious and the only thing of substance that came from his video: Repzilla's stalker. In my first video about Repzilla, I made it a point that I didn't buy his story about this stalker, and that he blamed the incident on a random fan of his from Canada. I made these conclusions based on the information that was publicly available at the time, and the fact that Repzilla was making said claims while refusing to provide more context.
I don't owe anybody any of my personal life information. This was something that affected my family, and you guys have families, you can completely understand this. You don't want to talk about this stuff, you don't want to relive this stuff, so the amount of pressure that this put on my family and my relationship at the time, and I just don't owe it. I shouldn't have had to, in my open up video, I shouldn't have had to Google map my address to show you that I lived in Georgia. I shouldn't have had to show police reports, but I think that I don't think this was anything to do with Redski, really. I think it's just because how Most stalking situations involve a guy stalking a girl, and this is like a gender reverse thing. So I think if I was a female that said that I was being stalked by a dude, then most people, and especially this video part, would not have been added because people wouldn't have touched that.
That the information regarding the police report was already publicly available. Dude, if I had to find that information on you, I would need to have your docs, something I don't have, and frankly I don't want to have. However, Repzilla did provide these receipts in his video that showed that he indeed had an internet stalker, and it seems that that stalker was indeed the girl from Canada. Another bit of information that I got wrong and wanted to clear up in this segment is when I said that Repzilla lived in Tennessee at the time of the stalking situation. I came to that conclusion for a couple of reasons. For one, the girl said that he lived in Tennessee during her interview with Marcy, and while that alone I took with a grain of salt, Repzilla's Bandcamp profile also listed Chattanooga, Tennessee as his location, and the same was done in his location on his Twitter bio back in 2018 according to the Wayback Machine.
This is another thing that bothered me is that your conclusion that I lived in Tennessee was based off old profiles, some of which were before I was a public figure. This was a big issue that I took with Marcy because he dug so deep in my past and was grabbing all these social profiles from before I was actually an established creator on the platform, which I didn't start really getting into YouTube until 2017 after my accident. So basing your entire conclusion of me lying about being stalked by this girl because she said that I lived in Tennessee, because old bios that you found on the Wayback Machine said that I did, or that I had old profiles that said I did, that's not good enough. That's not conclusive evidence to or reason to make a video with such a severe accusation, because I'm a male creator. So when you come out and you say things like I'm trying to fly fans out, or especially given the type of brand that I have, it's going to be damaging. And again, I really appreciate you for clearing this up in your second video, but again, people still come at me about this and they do not know, because like I said, the video is still in the algorithm, which I'm not going to ask you to take it down or even clip it out, which would have been like the what's the word? The least you could have did.
So to clear up that debacle, as Repzilla stated, he lived in Georgia at the time of the stalking incident. So to summarize, yes, there was a stalker. And had Repzilla given the details he did sooner, none of this would have been a problem. The one thing that did confuse me in this segment was the police report he showed. While it did show he filed a police report for online harassment, there isn't anything that links it directly to the girl, more so it's just circumstantial. Now I know some of you are thinking, but Redski, he got a police report and he's finally coming forward about his stalker. You should be giving him the benefit of the doubt.
See, this is another example of poorly researched and signal boosted information that I'm talking about. See, all you have to do, or you can probably Google search this, you can call the police yourself. In stalking situations, especially internet stalking situations, the police can't do anything unless the person does something physical. This person was in Canada. When I spoke with my lawyer, they said I would have to get a lawyer in Canada. So this was an international type scenario. The other thing I did was fill out a form on the FBI's cyber crimes division. And also, like I said in my opening up videos, that the girl didn't use a real name. We have no idea what her name is, as she had like 7 to 9 different alt accounts that she was using to harass me. We only know that she went publicly by Maeve. And so again, I've been transparent about this in video and on Twitter, and it's not hard to find. Let me show you how you find it. You go to advanced search on Twitter, go to from these accounts and put in @ZillaRage. Scroll back up to all of these words and put in stalking. And then you'll have all tweets that I said about stalking, every single one of them. And guess what? There it is, engaged Twitter tea. Another point is that you've never been blocked on Twitter. You had complete air and opportunity that when you were in the formatting of creating this video, you could have asked me. You could have said something to me. You could have verified things, but it seems like you didn't. And I think that you didn't because you wanted to put this stuff in your video in the way that you did because you wanted it to have the impact that it did, which basically makes me look like a complete and terrible person. That's why I tweeted in quotes what you said from your video. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people who brand themselves as morally righteous turn out to be blatantly dishonest and signal boost poorly researched information, to which you quote tweeted, "This tweet lacks so much self-awareness, LMAO," which I don't think you knew I quoted this from your video, which makes it ironic. I completely understand that this is not something that happened to you. You're on the outside looking in, but this is something that affected me. It affected my family. This is something that no YouTuber wants to happen to them. After your video started making rounds on September 15th, I actually released a Twitter statement, and I said, I want to be clear, I was internet stalked in 2018, it was horrible, and the law was involved. The same person has said that they were my girlfriend, and we e-dated. They said I gave them my address in Tennessee where I lived in a trailer park, and I told them to come visit. This person is sick and needs help. I have never lived in a trailer park in Tennessee. This is not the state I live in. I have never e-dated anyone and have only dated 4 people in my life. I have never given anyone my address, nor has my address been listed online willingly. I've been trying my best not to give these people any attention. And your response to this information was this. So Repzilla's response to my video was to cry stalker to farm sympathy, LMAO, yikes. You also doubled down in your pinned comment saying, correction, the girl found out where Repzilla lived because he gave her the rough location of where he'd work out. He offered to send her his address if she agreed to fly out. And again, this is a situation that I did not want to talk about. I did not want to give more details on, but this type of energy kept happening and people kept accusing me. So I made a community post saying that I provided a lot more details here. Specifically, I talked about how the person admitted to finding what my place looks like by watching my live streams, but keywords that it was a house and not in Tennessee. This person admits to taking screenshots of me in my live stream outside my house and sending them to me, which were from all accounts. This person said that they Google mapped my address and it was a trailer park in Tennessee. This was this same interview that Redski used in his video. So Redski, you saw this. Well, at least if you were doing your due diligence, you saw this. There's a lot more information in my opening up video, which will be in the pinned comment for you guys to check out. But generally, I just feel like that, and again, this was something that I feel personally more about than Redski does. So I completely get it. I understand. Like, it's not a big deal to him. But he did talk about some things in his video that I feel like is important for me to talk about with you guys. So let's talk about that now. Another thing you said in your video was that I censored words from my docs that didn't need to be censored, which is strange to me. Some of these are self-explanatory, but the Rep Andrews and the Hello Today I censored because I have old accounts still that go by these names that I no longer have the password to. I understood that my stalker was going to be watching this video directly, which she did because she's currently trying to remove this video from the internet. You also criticized me for lying to Marcy, which... why would I not? Like, this dude he had my docs, he was putting it in videos. The docs was in his videos for a year. Like, why would I don't trust him? I think he's the one that's doing the majority of this. I explained it in my video. You want to know why I lied? I think anybody would understand that you're going to not be forthcoming and upfront to people that you do not trust. That to me is common sense. But to say that I withheld information and lied to people that I did not trust and were exposing my docs to the world and using it as an example for why I'm not trustworthy and calling me a liar, doesn't seem like a very balanced statement. You also brought up the leafy green stuff again. Like, I don't know how to say this. The people that sent me the information about her, I sent it to other people. I sent it to bigger creators and I sent it to 2 smaller creators. The 2 smaller creators, like I said in my video, like smaller creators do, they want to get clicks and views, and that's what it seemed like to me. I am not proud that I sent that stuff to them. I have apologized about that already. I've admitted all the faults and wrongs that I've done throughout that situation. I get it, but it's like beating a dead horse at this point. I can only apologize. But you can't overlook that these people have my docs. You can't overlook that these people were manipulating others. You can't overlook that they were doing everything that they could do in their power to hurt me. Like imagine if it was me that had their docs. Imagine that. Like the video that you'd make about it. Not just that. And then you talk about other situations to do with Gabby Hanna, Eugenia Cooney, just generally things that I've already owned up to and apologized for. See, when I get things wrong, I'm the type of person that I'm going to own up to it. I'm going to be transparent with my audience. I'm going to apologize to the people that I need to apologize to. I'm going to do everything in my power to make things right. We all make mistakes, and I'm a YouTuber that talks for a living. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say things that are going to be misinterpreted in different ways, but The way you frame a lot of these situations in your video, I don't feel like they're in good faith. They're twisted to nitpick and just make me look as bad as possible. There's a large portion of your video that talks about 2 situations involving people that reached out to me on Instagram that I did not get back to. Let's talk about that.
It'd be a waste to have a video this long and not bring up how the man who prides himself on bringing awareness ignored an opportunity to bring awareness about an actual pedophile. Now, I know no creator is obligated to cover everything their audience wants, but Repzilla gave these girls false hope by acknowledging the situation when he was sent evidence.
This is a reach, and I don't mean any disrespect to the people that reached out to me, but his evidence on me giving them false hope is I said, thank you for reaching out about this. I didn't say that I was going to cover it. I didn't say I was going to look into it. I thanked them for reaching out about it. And to these people, I'm sorry that I didn't get to cover it. I get a lot of messages on Instagram, and I have some people that I pay to help me with my Instagram. And they do say, thank you for reaching out about this. So there's absolutely no guarantee that this was actually me here. And generally, I just want to let people know that I appreciate them for reaching out to me in social media. I do. I try to get back to everybody. Recently, though, I have turned off main messages for Instagram. You can only message me now if you've messaged me in the past, because I can't keep up with it and stuff like this happens. And just because I leave somebody on scene or I say thank you for reaching out about something, it doesn't mean that I'm going to cover the story. So I am sorry that you got any type of false hope out of that. That was not my intention. But because I've covered big stories to do with Dobby Vinny, Destry Smith, Mini Lad, I get a lot of requests to cover these types of just really bad people. And unfortunately, as much as I would hope to do that, to cover them all, it's not a realistic thing. So to take this and try to twist it in a way that makes, and to say I'm doing this on purpose and I'm giving people false hope, there's no signs that point to this type of thing. It's a bad faith argument, and I feel like it's dishonest.
On December 10th, after months of being tweeted at and messaged about taking Dez's tweet out of context, Repzilla reached out to Dez and said he never got to correct the misinformation until now because he was, quote, away and had to take care of some things.
So just because somebody reaches out to me, they tweet at me, it does not mean that I'm going to get it. I get a lot of people tweeting at me, especially if I'm making videos and one of the videos goes super viral, then there's going to be an influx of people in there, and I'm just might not see it. I mean, that's just a common thing. So he says I misrepresented this person, Dez, and I gotta say to them, I actually talked to him. He even shows the response here. Says, hey, I'm sorry it's taken some time to reach out to you. I've been away from the internet taking care of a few things recently. It wasn't my intention to misrepresent you in any way. Now, the interesting thing about this is that, let me go to their message. Wait a minute, did he show the whole message? He did not show the whole message. So I'm gonna read the whole thing here. Hey, I'm sorry it's taken some time to reach out to you. I've been away from the internet taking care of a few things recently. It wasn't my intention to misrepresent you in any way. I had recorded that video on the 20th and posted it on the 21st. It looks like you corrected yourself on the 22nd. I have removed the part showing your tweet, and it should be completely gone as soon as it updates. I'm not always active on social media and can't get back to everyone all of the time. Again, my apologies. And then I show the screenshots explaining. So as you can see here, and keep in mind the date was May 20th. So Eugenia says she's going to the police station, and this person says, I wouldn't trust them anywhere near you. I know they are concerned, but that's not right. I hope you are protected, Eugenia. To which another user responds on the 20th again, protected from what? Getting mental help? From not dying for people like you that enjoy watching it? And my point around this part in the video was to showcase that there were people that seemed to persuade her against getting help. That was what I was demonstrating. And at the time when I was going through this Twitter thread, this is what I was seeing a lot of, and other users commenting on that specific thing. Now, it's important for me to say that, so I didn't know this before, but Twitter has like an algorithm, and if you go to Twitter and you view tweets, it's going to show you people's comments that are more active around your community sphere. So I'm guessing that Dez was one of those people. As you can see here, this is the part of my video, so it was May 21st. So I recorded my video on the 20th, and then I released my video on the 21st. And as you can see here, One user saying, really telling that her fans are out here telling her how to lie and avoid getting treatment, and her haters are saying they hope the police gets her treatment. Eugenia should reevaluate who her true fans are. So this was what I was seeing when I was recording on that day. So it was not my intention to misrepresent. So again, recorded on the 20th, released on the 21st, and only after my video came out did they correct themselves. On the 22nd, they said, I don't enjoy watching her deteriorate. Thank you very much. I want her to get help. I was just saying that it's not right to invade her privacy. I want her to get healthier. You took it out of context. So it wasn't my intention to take them out of context at all. And they actually responded, hey there, it's all right. I do appreciate that you removed that part. There were actually a few of my friends who also tried to help correct it here on Twitter. It's no biggie. I just corrected anybody who replied in the comment. I hope that you are well anyways. Thank you nonetheless. And they continued saying, help correct it by trying to catch your attention per se. But I know that you are busy. Everybody's life is. We all make mistakes, and it's only human. I said, you're welcome. Is there anything else I can help you with? And it's interesting because this person understands that people can't always reply back to people tweeting at them, and that though I would have liked to, it's just... it's impossible to do so. And the way that Redski framed that is just, it's really bad faith. It's not a good argument. And the dude should have put the rest of these messages in there because it looks like he was just trying to make me look as bad as he could. And you can stack as many tweets like this up in a video as you want, but you have to verify and make sure that what you're saying is conclusive. I mean, even this one tags Repzilla on, and I don't even know if he covered this Asman person either. And if this is still a topic that needs to be taken care of, maybe I will. A lot of these topics get sent to me, and I would, like I said, I'd love to cover them all, but it's not realistic. Another part that I feel is like really bad faith, and he doesn't show all of the messages, is with the Real Stream News thing.
Before I start this one, yes, I know RSN is a controversial creator, and honestly, he has done some stupid things that I don't agree with. Regardless of how you feel about him though, I have to mention this because the shit Repzilla did to RSN was fucked up. I'm not sure if many of you knew this, but Repzilla and RSN were actually internet friends.
I was friendly with him. I tried to help him out with his video makings before I knew much about him. Like, that's what I would do to anyone. For anyone, I should say.
Around 4 years ago, RSN was accused of raping a woman named Amber. This was later proven to be false, as a phone call between Amber and her mother was leaked, where the mother pressured her to go through with the accusations, even though Amber can be heard saying there wasn't a rape.
I'm gonna get you home. Don't worry about that.
No, I mean, if I called the cops, you would have been arrested for other stuff.
You'll have to go to the police department. Oh my God. You'd have to have a rape test.
Why?
For his DNA.
Yeah. No, if I call the cops, there's nothing else to say.
What do you mean?
It would be considered rape, and it's not.
Wait a minute, what?
If I called the cops, I'd have to say he raped me.
Right.
It's not rape.
The police did get a hold of the call as well as the rest of Amber's schedule that week and concluded that there was no evidence an actual assault occurred. Thus, no report was filed and no court case happened. Repzilla, who was still friendly with RSN at this time, was told all of this.
Different timelines completely. That was back in 2019, and I'm pretty sure when I released my video about RSN, and he also didn't add important context to it. She actually came out, there was a whole live stream. So when RSN first came into contact with me, I believe it was like right at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. So the timeline is wrong in his video. I didn't make this video until another year later on February 8th, 2020. And it was based upon a very public live stream that happened where this was said.
She said, I guess she didn't want to hook up with, like, you know, I guess at first or whatever, and then whatever, we ended up hooking up, and I guess, you know, she's upset about it.
I said no.
And then during it,
and I said no twice, and then I was like laying there, and I was like, whatever, just do whatever you want to.
Like, I didn't think I was being aggressive with Amber. I didn't think I was being aggressive. I was just, you know, like cuddling with her, like, you know, people do when they cuddle. And then we had sex.
And then he goes on to say that me and RSN striked a deal where I would remove those videos if he removed all the videos about me. That's absolutely not true at all. It's complete bullshit. What happened was me and RSN got in a call, and the dude showed me evidence that this Amber girl was lying about him. And it was only then and only then that when I discovered that this was not true, that I took those videos down.
Repzilla, being the vindictive little asshole he is, decided to teach RSN a lesson and released 3 videos talking about the situation between RSN and Amber as if it was an active case. The situation, in fact, had happened 2 years prior to the Leafy Greens incident, and Repzilla already knew the details and that it was a false accusation. Amber and RSN did actually reconcile and return to being friends around this time. I'm not sure why, but Amber was made aware of the videos Repzilla made on her and RSN. Bothered by this misinformation, she did reach out to Repzilla and let him know that she had recanted.
So here he only shows enough of the message to make me look bad. It doesn't show the full story, which is interesting because we had words on Twitter. So one user tagged him and said that she was going to do a live stream talking about me and his recent video. And I had not watched that video at that point and said, what I want to know is why someone told me that he said I was friends with RSN and struck some kind of deal to take down all the videos he made about me, because I'm not, and that didn't happen. I would like to see any evidence. To which he said, you're deflecting the main point of my criticism in that segment. Tell me why you refused to take the videos down when the accused asked you. She didn't ask me to take it down. She apologized and said he was getting her to go around and ask people to take down any video about the RAPE situation. Later, he showed me evidence that made me question the situation, and then I took the video down. I'm not deflecting, you are. Where's the evidence to your claims? To which he posts this one screenshot, and I say, yeah, where's the rest of the conversation? Did you at least talk to her or RSN himself, or just go with it? He said, I talked to RSN directly, and I actually heard the call the two of you had recently regarding the video. And I said, then you heard me say, no, don't take any videos down, and you also heard him show me some evidence that made me question the situation. To which he did not respond. So before I made my video, when I was doing research, this is the story that she gave me. Okay, so I was invited to do an interview and to do streams with him as a big supporter of Anision, and RSN knew that. Me and Anision actually still talk to this day. I just don't make it public because it's too much drama. So please keep that private. But anyways, I agreed, but I wasn't going to go against Anision like RSN wanted. So I went to talk good about Anision. Moving on, when I got there, it was a hotel where we went live and took shots he had for me, which he didn't drink at all, but I did. I was 20 at the moment. I did get a little drunk and I was sleepy that night and wanted to go to sleep. When we got into separate beds, he started bothering me and pushed me to let him come cuddle. So I said, whatever, fine. And then he kept trying to want to have sex, and I said no twice, as he admitted to me saying. But then I said, whatever, I'm just gonna lay here, and he did it. He had sex with me after I just laid there. I woke up sick every day after that. I was so sick, but I kept going along with it because I was scared to say anything because I was staying in a room with him and I didn't have a plane ticket to get back to a specific date. So we hung out. But you could tell the vibe was not the same. I was scared and more quiet away from him. He does have videos of me saying that I would accuse him of RAPE if I made him angry. But he literally did, and I even said no twice. I was confused and scared, and he illegally recorded that anyways. Finally, I called the cops, and before they got there, he fled the scene as he live streamed running away. So that's the version of events that I got, and that's why I made my video raising awareness about the situation, because she was saying that she was confused and scared. I said, I'm sorry you went through something like that. It sounds awful. She said, thank you so much. I said, if there's anything I can do that's within my power, just let me know. She said, thanks, that means a lot. Then on November 18th, and this is what Redski shows in his video, hey, listen, I already talked to RSN. Can you take down the RAPE vid? I said, I cannot. I have a written story from you verifying a lot. I suggest you look inward on the matter and not let this guy have the ability to hurt others. Real Stream News is a terrible person, and I will be contacting the authorities about him. I suggest we no longer have contact if this is the stance that you take. So without context of everything, yeah, that sounds bad, but I was under the impression that this girl was being manipulated, she was confused, and she was scared. Sorry, he asked me to reach out. I'm sorry, I hope we're cool. I said, yeah, I figured he'd do something like that. Look, you don't have to put up with being treated like this. Why don't you let me put you in contact with Ashley Lilly? She is a survivor, and we are doing the best to keep other survivors safe. And she put a heart on it. She said, yes, I agree. I appreciate the offer, but Def don't want to talk about any of that stuff anymore. I just want us to be cool still. I've been busy with myself, work, and etc. I don't have time to contact anyone else on that subject, but I'll meet her and say hello, etc. That's very good of you. I said, I understand, only if you're comfortable with it. The option is there, and all you have to do is let me know, and I'll tell her to reach out. We have a great positive support group with this stuff, so just know that you are not alone and you are not trapped. And she hearted that and said thank you. So obviously, given more context to the situation, now you can understand why I was very hesitant to take this video down. And to back this up even further, another creator said to me, I got a bizarre message from Amber today. Hey, listen, I already talked to RSN. Can you take down the REPE vid? It's the same exact thing that she said to me, copy and pasted. And then on November 18th, I asked if he got an apology from Amber. He said, weeks ago, yeah. I said, I got one last night, and she let me know that she was being manipulated by RSN. Keep it between us. Yeah, she said similar things to me. RSN needs to be locked up. And then when I got in a call with RSN, he showed me that there was a possibility that Amber was lying about all of this. And then and only then did I take down my video. I was in the call with one of my moderators, and this was the conclusion we came to. I could not realistically, it didn't feel right to keep those videos up if I questioned the content. And as far as making a deal for him to take down all the videos he's made about me, that's completely false. That never happened. I actually, in the recorded call, which I'm going to play the clip right here, where I ask him and tell him, like, no, you don't have to take down any videos about me.
It's something that, one thing I want to say first. Look, I'll pull the videos that I have down that are negative about you. I appreciate that you're gonna pull that one.
You don't have to do that.
No, I don't want any negative. I just don't want. I don't like negative content like that, and I'd rather do that.
Bothered by this misinformation, she did reach out to Repzilla and let him know that she had recanted her statement and that he should take the videos down as they could be considered slanderous. Instead of listening to the person who made the accusation in the first place, he tried gaslighting her into thinking she misremembered and that he would not take the videos down. Keep in mind, this all happened because RSN didn't want to make an exposed video on Leafy Greens on Repzilla's behalf.
So I think he might say that he was going off publicly available information, but as a creator, that's not good enough. You do have to verify the things that you're saying, and to frame it in these ways when you're not for sure is not good. So no, there was no deal that was ever struck.
Noah Pothoven was a Dutch mental health activist and author who tragically passed away in 2019. She was in an immense amount of pain due to an assortment of mental health issues and intense PTSD from being sexually assaulted a number of times when she was under the age of 15. She had reached out to a euthanasia clinic for assisted suicide, to which she was denied since she did not have her parents' permission. Many media outlets falsely reported that her passing was due to assisted suicide, when that in fact was not the case. Repzilla made a video covering the situation on how there was misinformation that was being spread. For once, I actually thought this would be an objectively good video until it took a nosedive when he began criticizing the girl for committing suicide. He then compared her pain that she had gone.
This video was made in June of 2019. And as Redski said, I reported on information that was publicly available at the time. It was a very tragic situation, and my heart goes out to the family and the friends. What the criticism here is that apparently there was some updates to it because the news outlets were spreading misinformation, which I was not aware of. And if I became aware of this, I would have removed the video a long time ago.
Tanya actually commented on his video saying there was missing context he failed to add about Noah's passing. She reached out to him on Instagram to provide more information regarding Noah's state and what she was going through when she was in recovery. Repzilla responded and asked to set up a Discord call with her to share more, which after him being late to responding and sleepy, never got back to her about the call. After a number of failed attempts at getting him to answer her calls, calls. Fed up with his incompetence, Tanya sent a last string of messages to him and reminded him that the video was still up, and he didn't even make the effort to clarify the misinformation on Noah, even though he was well aware that there were errors.
I'm gonna go to her messages because I finally did talk to her, because I actually didn't know about any of this until I watched his video. And it's strange to me because if this is something that he truly cared about, then he could have just reached out to me and told me about this. Literally, this was the first notion of knowing about this I had. So this was May 30th and around June. We were at the height of the pandemic at this point. I was trying to set up a call on the server. I apologize for getting it late. She reached out again because I think English isn't her first language, so she was having some trouble understanding. I was trying to get her in there. I told her I closed DMs on Instagram so I could better manage replies. She said she was going to the hospital. I asked her if she was okay, and I said the hospital would take good care of her. And she asked how I was. I said, I'm about to fall asleep. I'm doing fine. So Redski framed it like I didn't get back to her because I was sleepy, but that's not even how the conversation went. She said, I hope you sleep fine. Here we start the day now. I said, good night, get well soon. Good night, I do my best, and stay safe. And then the next time she reached out was November 20, 2021, which I never saw it. I didn't know. Again, there are people that work on my Instagram with me, but I did say, after watching Redski's video, hey, I'm very sorry I never got back to you. I sometimes don't see these messages. I have removed the video for you. She said, thank you. I said, you're welcome. She said, can I ask what happened after you saw it? Because I did see that it was red. I said, I have someone that takes care of my social media here on Instagram, and 2021 was a difficult time, so I wasn't checking things like usual. As you know, this year was rough because my cat Greg passed away. He got sick in February. I'll go on to say I was always willing to remove the video, just needed to talk with you to see what everything was about. I would never willingly ignore someone about something this serious. It was a case of just missing each other. And I gotta say again, to anybody on Instagram that gets left on red, or I don't get back to them as fast as I can, I am sorry for that. It's hard for me to do it sometimes. It's hard for anybody to do that sometimes, but I hope that you'll accept my apology, because I know that there are multiple people that I've left on red, and it's not like out of malice or ignore or anything like that. It's just life. Keep in mind, I think Redski might try to take credit for this and say, oh, well, he only did this because I exposed him in a video, but that's not the case, because in the other situations before that, situations were taken care of before he put it out in his video. In this situation, it's true that I did not know anything about this until I seen it in Redski's video, and then I took action on it because I just didn't know. I didn't know the whole story behind it. That's why I wanted to get in a Discord call with this person. But I seen it in his video. So again, I am sorry for that. I think it's very telling to see the whole conversations that I have with these people and how much more reasonable they are when I talk to them, rather than Redski's narrative and how he frames things. Like, I get it, you want to clickbait, you want to do these things, but just make sure that the information that you're putting out is correct. Like, don't intentionally misrepresent somebody to make your video a hotter topic. It's not cool. And also, I do want to say I've made mistakes 100%, but I'm the type of person that when I make a mistake, I'm going to own up to it. I always have. I'm going to be completely transparent with my viewers. I always have been. I'm probably going to make more mistakes in the future. And if my mistakes that I've made so far are not things that you can agree with, and you feel like you need to unsubscribe from me, I completely understand. But I can promise you that I'm always learning. I consider myself a quick learner, and I'm going to continue to do my best about these types of situations. When I make these mistakes, I always apologize the best that I can. I've apologized to multiple people, and I own up to my mistakes when I do. Contrary to how these people frame these situations. And I think that they frame these situations this way because I don't respond to them. I don't make videos responding back to people, but it looks like I'm going to start doing it, because I think if I don't, it emboldens them to say and do whatever they want in their video. Again, I don't really care when people make videos about me, because I know what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to make videos raising awareness about things. I want to use my platform for good stuff. That's what I'm going to continue to do. No video that anybody makes on me is going to stop me. I'm very open to criticism, contrary to what these people try to say. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, I'll be in the comments below. None will be deleted like people say they are. They're just not. The last thing I want to say about this video is there was one part at the end during the Noah Pathoven stuff where he frames, like, I'm explaining a situation in my life where I was close to the point of ending it and how it affected me. And I explained it in a way where I was empathizing across to my viewers to let them know that, yes, times get hard, but to never give up, which is, I feel, is a pretty positive message. But the way Redski frames it, it makes me sick.
For once, I actually thought this would be an objectively good video until it took a nosedive when he began criticizing the girl for committing suicide. He then compared her pain that she had gone through to the trauma he had with his brain injury from his car accident and how he was strong enough to push through that pain. This is absolutely disgusting, not just because Repzilla started making the subject about himself, but because he was making a false equivalence.
This 17-year-old child not just feeling like she had nowhere else to go, nowhere to turn, and that her life was essentially over, really deeply saddens me because it always gets better. I remember back in 2017 after my accident, it was just deep depression, and we've all been there. And if I had done anything, if I had just given up then I wouldn't have all you guys now. And I've had multiple times throughout my life where things just seemed so dark, and you just move forward. I mean, it's hard and it's difficult, but you gotta go forward. These things happen. You're gonna feel bad. Not every day is gonna be the best day, man. But just from my experience, and I've been there, like, it does get better. There's no amount of makes this conversation about himself that people are going to hear this and try to think what you're framing it. Like, it's gross and it's disgusting, and this is probably one of the biggest issues that I have with your entire video, out of all the videos that you made, really. This is just low, dude. You make it seem like you really care about mental health when in 2017 I was ran over by a car, got my skull cracked open where my brain was hanging out, and you take every opportunity to make fun of that. There's even a part in your video where somebody's being dropped on their head and you say things like this in live streams. The car didn't hit Repzilla hard enough, LMAO. And then your buddy Crow says, rest in peace, Repzilla. And then in another one you say, Repzilla isn't LGBT. Demisexual is just a fake label. That's pretty messed up. I'm not the only person with a brain injury. I'm not the only person that's demisexual, and I'm not the only person on the planet that's Southern. In fact, probably some of your viewers have that in common. There are other things, obviously, in this video, but my overall feelings about this video is it's nitpicky. It's a lot of personal insults and personal opinions, and to each their own. This isn't the type of videos that I make. I'm not ever going to make videos like this, but I think I'm done. Like I said, there's a lot more I could have said, but I wasn't trying to, like, come at this dude. I was just responding to these things because a lot of these things were serious, and I just feel like, at least to the people who might have felt like, or, well, I know they don't feel like I left them on red or ignored because I actually had conversations with them, but to all the viewers out there that feel like I was ignoring people, I needed to say that because I was getting a lot of hateful comments about it, and I hope this sets the record straight on a lot of things. Thank you for watching this video, and I think I'm gonna do a live stream tomorrow, so peace out. My camera died on me. I absolutely apologize for that. That's been happening a lot. The sound on the audio things, it just died, and it's just like, it doesn't let me know when it stops. Usually it beeps. It's not doing that anymore. But I hope everybody's had a good day. I really don't have any much to say at the end of this, but thank you to my patrons. Really appreciate your continued ongoing support. Rest in peace, Greg Cat, Positivity Turtles in chat. Yeah, and don't forget, this channel loves you. I'm hungry. Let me know in the comment section what I should eat.